11 freak accidents you won't believe actually happened. Anton Yelchin. In an unexpected tragedy and heartbreaking loss for not only those who knew him, but for the entertainment industry and fans as well, Anton Yelchin passed away a few months ago on June 19, 2016. At only 27, the talented actor had many prominent roles in television and film, along with starring in the current remake of Star Trek as Pavel Chekhov. When Yelchin failed to meet up with his friends, they went to check on him and discovered his body pinned between his Jeep Cherokee and a brick wall. The Jeep was still apparently running and set in neutral. The force was so strong that the gate had been bent to a certain degree. Number 10. Philip Marino. It was nearly 4 years ago that Philip Marino lost his life due to the carelessness of a woman named Sherry Wilkins. In November of 2012, Wilkins was driving home from her job as a counselor at a treatment center for addiction. At some point during the drive, Wilkins struck passing pedestrian Philip Marino and sent him flying with a force strong enough that he went through her windshield. She drove for 2 miles before other motorists managed to block her with their vehicles. The 31-year-old died from his injuries. Wilkins' alcohol level was twice over the legal limit, and she was arrested. Wilkins is now serving a 51-year-to-life prison sentence for second-degree murder, hit-and-run charges, and driving intoxicated. Number 9. James Jimmy Heselden. This British businessman was the proud owner of the company that invented the Segway. That is, until he plunged to his death on the very thing that his company created. On September 26, 2010, Heselden was inspecting the grounds of his home in northern England by using an off-road version Segway when he suddenly drove it off a cliff. The 30-foot fall was enough to kill the 62-year-old billionaire. The local authorities from the West Yorkshire Police Department found his Segway nearby and fished his body out of a river. His death was ruled as nothing more than a freak accident and not something caused by foul play. Number 8. João Maria de Souza. The 45-year-old Brazilian man was at his home in Caratinga, Brazil, laying in bed with his wife, Lenny, when it happened. Somehow, a cow from a nearby farm had managed to escape and climb up to the roof of the couple's home, as it was located right up against a steep hill. The roof's support wasn't strong enough to handle the cow's 1.5-ton weight, caved, sending the cow crashing right on top of João. He suffered a fractured leg and was taken to the local hospital, where he was conscious and seemed to be in stable condition. Unfortunately, after a few hours, he died after suffering from internal bleeding while he was still waiting for doctors to examine him. Ultimately, this man's life could have been saved. Number 7. Edward Archbold. It was during a bug-eating competition in October of 2012 that Edward Archbold would lose his life. Archbold entered the Midnight Madness bug-eating competition at the Ben Siegel Reptile Store in Deerfield Beach, Florida, in order to win a ball python priced at $850 and give it to a friend as a gift. Once the competition began, Archbold started to inhale roaches and worms straight into his mouth and down his throat. He managed to consume 35 3-inch-long superworms, more than 60 grams of mealworms, and a bucket containing discoid cockroaches. In the end, he won, but a little after his victory, he started to vomit and collapsed outside the store. He was declared dead at a nearby hospital. The cause of death was asphyxia. Apparently, he swallowed live roaches without even chewing them so that he could eat more bugs at a faster pace. Number 6. Diana Durre. It was back in April of 2009 when Diana Durre, a native of Chambers, Nebraska, was set to meet a Wyoming couple who were interested in purchasing some dogs from her. They made the decision to meet in North Platte, Nebraska at around 1 p.m. It was during this time that Diana was waiting for the couple to arrive in a quad cab pickup truck when suddenly a Taco Bell sign fell directly on top of the cab, killing the 49-year-old. The 75-foot sign fell after a welded joint broke due to strong winds. The couple arrived just after the authorities did, and the 2 Yorkies that were in the car with Diana were unharmed and taken to the local shelter. Number 5. Garry Hoy. The case of Garry Hoy is truly saddening and also very ironic. The 38-year-old lawyer was a senior partner at the Holden Day Wilson law firm located in Toronto, Canada. While giving a tour to a group of visiting law students at the Toronto Dominion Center on July 9, 1993, Hoy was giving a demonstration of how the building's glass windows were unbreakable by throwing himself onto it. Now, he had performed this demonstration many times over, and on his first try, nothing happened. It was on his second demonstration to the group that the glass popped out of the window frame, and he fell to his death 24 stories, or rather 300 feet, to the ground below. Number 4. Vincent Smith II. This next case seems like it was ripped out of the pages of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. This is the real-life case of a person who met a pretty grim death. Vincent Smith II happened to be an employee at the Cacao Services Inc. chocolate factory in Camden, New Jersey. It's here that the New Jersey native would spend his last moments alive. In what can only be described as an accident, Vincent was loading in large pieces of raw chocolate into a melting tank that was heated at 120 degrees Fahrenheit when he suddenly slipped and fell inside. One of the tank's large mixers had knocked him unconscious. Smith was trapped in there for a total of 10 minutes before he was rescued. He was later pronounced dead a few moments after he was saved. Number 3. John Jones. It was back in late November of 2009. John Jones and his brother Josh went to explore the Nutty Putty Caves in Utah, along with some friends, when at some point they broke off into smaller separate groups, and John became trapped upside down within one of the cave's crevices. Rescue workers were called to the scene, where they spent a staggering 27 hours trying to save him. At one point, they had managed to get him free, but one of the pulley system's anchors had failed and dropped Jones back down to where he was just freed from. With over 100 workers doing their best to rescue him, John Jones died at the age of 26 due to suffocation. He leaves behind a large family, along with a daughter, and his second child was born the following June. Number 2. Brittany Cecil. The tragic tale of Brittany Cecil goes as such. Brittany was just your average American 13-year-old who happened to be a major hockey fan. On March 16, 2002, Brittany was enjoying a match with her family at the Nationwide Arena in Columbus, Ohio, between the Columbus Blue Jackets and the Calgary Flames. Sadly, the day would take an unexpected turn. Derek Morris had blocked a shot from Espen Knutson of the Blue Jackets, and the puck would go on to fly over the protective glass and strike Brittany on her left temple. She would later succumb to her injuries 48 hours later. Her case became the first fan fatality in the history of the National Hockey League. Number 1. An entire soccer team. It was in the Democratic Republic of Congo in October of 1998 when, during a game between the football teams Benetashadi and Basanga, who were the visiting team, were suddenly struck by a bolt of lightning. All 11 members of Basanga were instantly killed, while everyone on the home team managed to walk away unscathed. Another 30 individuals were lucky enough to walk away with only a few minor burns. The two teams were tied 1-1 when the lightning hit completely out of nowhere. A lot of the locals believe that this was the work of black magic because of how peculiar it was that no one on the home team was harmed, yet every member of the away team perished.